I'm gonna try this and hope that it doesn't fuck up the foundation I just put on my face. Didn't turn out quite like I was hoping, and I'm not about to redo all of this makeup, so typical shit. Let's see if we can fix this eyeliner. Oh, they're never even. We're gonna do a little get ready with me, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about my life and my situation and how I got where I am. I spent the last really like 6 or 7 years living in a very warm, beautiful place because I made the choice to move away from my home state. Up here in the Northeast, it gets very cold in the winters. I'm not a fan, and I'm not gonna walk through my makeup routine because I am not a makeup expert, and I haven't bought any new makeup in a long time. The universe has not yet bestowed my abundance upon me, so I'm using old stuff. I am staying at my family's house. There's a bunch of us living in this house. This is the house that I grew up in as a child. I am the type of person who focuses a lot on personal development, unpacking psychological baggage and stuff like that. I realize that we're all walking around with issues, and so many of us don't even think about it. We just go out into the world looking for ways to make ourselves feel better for the moment. I've been around enough people who do that, see how damaging that is to other people. I don't want to continue the cycle anymore. I don't want to be part of anyone else's cycle anymore. I'm over it. I have always been very introspective and observant. I've always been curious about why people do what they do. So I've always looked for understanding, look for the reasons why people do things. A lot of things that I've been through, I've unpacked the baggage from those things and analyzed and am able to provide some insights. People misunderstand me or take me the wrong way, but that's okay. It's nice to just get out and listen to really loud music and people watch, which is one of my favorite pastimes. Like, I enjoy seeing people enjoy themselves. I enjoy seeing people have a good time. Even if it's something that I think is really silly or ratchet, I still enjoy it. To me, it's great to see people living their life, having a good time. You never know, kind of really interesting, sometimes really good people you can just randomly have a conversation with. So, I am back in my family's house unexpectedly because life is a journey. Let this set for a second. You really never know. There's like no guarantees. I was raised with this idea that I think most people are raised with, particularly in this area, because there's a lot of busyness in this area, in the what they call the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia, Northern Virginia area. A lot of business, money, and military and government. I enjoy the mixed culture of people. I was raised with this idea that I have to get a good government job and look for something stable, a stable career, get an education, use that education in my career field, and that'll give me stability. That's such a cute thought process, but the people who think that way are the ones that have to spend 40 years paying into a retirement plan that's not enough for them when they get there. Throughout the process of their life, they end up having to pay for a house that drains them of everything, sacrifice for all those years and be miserable, struggling and living from paycheck to paycheck, or two paychecks away from being homeless. The middle class people are struggling, living beyond their means. Really, I don't want to live like that. I'm at a point now where my perspective on how I should live my life has changed drastically. I have always been the type of person to want to work for myself and provide for myself. I don't mean just being self-employed, which, yes, that's a nice ideal. There have been times when I've been in a relationship and I was not working upon their guidance because of external circumstances, but I was never happy about that. I don't like being dependent on other people. In this climate, in this economy, this is not good for anybody. So now I'm in a place where I've had to live kind of a minimalist way. I mean, it may look like I have a variety of things that I have picked up since I've been back here in the cold. It's just been a journey. I did a lot of traveling this summer, which was really great. I've been so blessed with opportunities. I spent a month in Spain visiting my family who I hadn't seen in 15 years. And then I came back, got to visit a cousin of mine in the South for a week. And then some friends of mine from Florida picked me up. And we took a little 3-day road trip up through Alabama and Tennessee, North Carolina. Got to see some beautiful nature. I love nature. Reasons why I don't like the cold, because the cold kills off all the nature and makes it unpleasant to be outside. I've been blessed and I try to focus on that while I'm going through my process of grieving the life that I had before. The visions I had of a future that do not exist. But the amazing thing is, with every change that happens in your life, you're not losing anything. You're actually gaining a whole new doorway into other opportunities. Who knows what the future holds? The unknown can be a bit scary, but that's part of the miracle. Anyway, I was trying to say earlier that I've always been the type of person to take chances on people, particularly on people who I feel like need love. The hurt people of the world, because I have been a hurt person. So I've always been one to take chances on people who need love or people who need friendship. Doesn't always work out in my favor. Sometimes I get burned along the way. Sometimes I have to let go of people, lose friendships that mean a lot to me. Sometimes you just have to go your own separate way for a while and see what journey life takes you on to develop you before you can come back. My life this year have been reminding me of that, and I guess sort of forcing me to let go of things, tangible things, people, and ideals that I had that were not meant for me to hold on to. That's a tough lesson. While being sad and sort of mourning, letting go of these things, I have been keeping a gratitude journal again, to focus on the things for which I am grateful, trying to get back into manifesting abundance in my life. Back in my childhood home, not happy about it, but I am happy that I've been spending a lot of time with my niece and nephew, and my mother and my brother. I feel like it's really something that was necessary for all of our relationships because our relationships have been suffering. So even though my life has taken an unexpected turn and pause in a place that I hadn't intended, I really do believe that it's for a reason. Now, people say, oh, it happens for a reason. Becoming cliche to the point where we don't value that statement anymore. Had my life gone according to the plan I had, I wouldn't have been here to spend this time with my family, and our relationships would not have been the same. And I think that's really key. Relationships with my family needed this. And I needed to let go of a couple of people. I had to come back here in order to do that. I also needed to unpack some things within myself. And I was struggling to do that the way that my life was going. So all of that was necessary. Let's see how this goes. I've been struggling to stay afloat. Linked back up with my same therapist maybe about a month ago. It was very helpful. The thing that she wanted me to work on a lot last year was boundaries, because there were a lot of people in my life with whom I did not have good boundaries, and it had already gotten to the point where the relationships I had, they'd gotten so used to overstepping my boundaries that there was almost no way to fix it without doing a complete breakdown. I guess that's what this year has been. So I'm grateful through the pain and the struggle, the adjustments. I've learned a lot. I'm no longer chasing the things I was chasing before, and now I'm ready for healthy boundaries. I'm no longer tolerating situations that are toxic. You know, you get stuck inside your own situation and it's hard to see clearly. I have my frustrations. I feel like I'm too old to be at this stage in my life where I have nothing to fall back on. But because I've always been the type of person to take chances on people and to believe in love and travel and adventure and to believe that I will always bounce back, which I do. I always bounce back. The universe never lets me fall all the way down. I've fallen before on my face, and my pride has taken a hit and I've been humbled, but I've never fallen all the way down to the point where of being destitute. And for that, I'm grateful that I've never fallen all the way down. The universe looks out. But I realize now that I cannot put other people before myself. It's in my heart to want to help people, to want to love people, to want to give to people, not just during certain seasons of the year like the Christmas season where you're encouraged to be giving, but all the time. It's in my heart all the time. I've never been able to give at the capacity that I want, and I have so much passion for giving. And I realize in order to get to that position, I have to look out for myself first so that I can get to the point where I have a solid foundation from which to provide from my spirit what it is I'm looking to do. I've never really focused on building a foundation for myself. I've worked hard and I've advanced at things that I've done, but I've always made that a second priority underneath people. But people in my life have been transient, which is human nature. That's fine. I still believe in being vulnerable and being loving and giving and forgiving and providing friendship. I still believe in all of that. Just not at the expense of putting yourself first and having a foundation for yourself. I don't mean being selfish, but if you don't have anything on which to stand for yourself, you can't do anything for anyone else. When you get into a situation where you're overextending and giving of yourself to a person who has nothing to give back to you or doesn't realize that they're being toxic to you, whether it be a family member, coworker, friend, someone on the street that you're trying to help, a relationship, it doesn't matter. And you end up losing parts of yourself or putting yourself in bad positions. So I'm no longer going to do that. I've learned patience, to be discerning about with whom and how I spend my time. Say no. I've learned not to pay attention to what people say to me, but to watch what they do. And all of these are cliche sayings, but if you really start to apply them to your life, you see a big difference. Now it doesn't matter to me what a person says. I'm looking at what they do. Who are you? Your heart can say one thing, but what are your actions gonna do? It's too many times over and over again, people tell me what they think sounds good. Well known that women want to hear things that sound good. even if it's not true. And I have learned to know when that's happening. And I don't have an interest. So deeply rooted in providing a foundation for myself. And that's what I've been trying to do. I've been working on some opportunities for myself, trying to get into a very specific career field. I've had a background check done for security clearance. I'm working on something that needs to be cleared up before I can go any further. I'm really hopeful for it. Got the unicorn energy going on in my life. Praying for abundance and for doorways to open and pathways to be made clear. Trying to bounce back and continue to be the encouraging person that I want to always be, despite the struggles that I go through. I try to be non-judgmental, accepting, forgiving of myself. It's in my nature to be very connected to my emotions, not in the way that is typical for women. I'm not all over the place with my emotions. I am quite practical and logical. At least I like to believe so. And even more so now after the things that I've experienced. Not trying to let the experiences make me cynical, but not being so hopeful in others that I lose focus on my own vision. I'm at sort of a ground zero for myself right now. Not happy about it, but it will pass. It is not forever. It is a phase. I'm doing everything I can to keep my head above water in terms of making it through the darkness of depressive feelings. I am mastering my emotions, being patient, understanding now what I see in others. I have to thank the people, the hardships that I've been through, the challenges that I faced, for that knowledge that I have, and for the ability that I have to use those tools that I've been given. That's the important thing. It doesn't matter how much you learn if you don't use the tools that you're given to be better. That's where I'm at right now. The future is unknown. We're gonna try this winged stamp eyeliner, liquid eyeliner. It's a stamp on this side and then the felt tip on the other. We're gonna try this and hope that it doesn't fuck up the foundation I just put on my face. The future has always been unknown and I have accepted it. It didn't turn out quite like I was hoping and I'm not about to redo all of this makeup, so typical shit. See if we can fix this eyeliner. Oh, they're never even. And this is the final look. It's a bit dramatic of an eye, but it's okay. Skinny jeans, Christmas top, beat with a cat eye. I actually blow dried my hair, makes it nice and silky. I look presentable.